Rock 102.
Good morning, Scott speaking.
Hey, Scott, it's Kenny Hotz. Are we doing an 11:30 today?
I was ready now if you were.
Yeah, ready.
Well, first of all, appreciate you taking the time.
It's my pleasure.
Well, you know, and I'm gonna.
All I've got's time. I don't have a show on TV.
It'll be warmer when you and Spenny come to town on the Kenny versus Spenny versus Canada tour. So, what can people expect on that? There's been some speculation, but I want to get it right from the horse's mouth.
Well, if you want from the horse's mouth, you can actually call Spenny's mom.
Oh.
But well, you know, I'll tell them what not to expect. Us doing like lame, crappy stuff. You know, we're not actors. We don't do, you know, bits or cheesy sketches. You know, we're real guys, and we are Kenny and Spenny. And I think what they should expect is what they've always expected, is us to be one of the greatest, funniest guys in Canada for, you know, years, and to totally laugh their asses off. And, you know, people see our shows and they know our show, and you have to be a real Kenny versus Spenny fan to truly trust, you know, our love for them and how great this, you know, this tour is going to be. Personally, I think Kenny versus Spenny is the funniest show in Canadian history and TV history. But, you know, that's me, and, you know, we have rabid, insane fans. We've never, ever let them down. We're going to show clips they've never seen, and it's really it's you know, it's a sit down. It's going to be like us hanging out with them being in our house, and just really knowing wholeheartedly that what we did and who we are is totally real.
Awesome. I like that.
I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. If you're a fan, don't miss it.
Oh no, I've already got my tickets, my friend, for sure. I can't miss this one.
Amazing.
Yeah, because actually it was a friend of mine that asked me, he said, have you seen the show Kenny versus Spenny? This would have been during season 1. And I checked it out on CBC, and I laughed my balls off. Now, would people be surprised to find out, like, because there's some people that say, oh, you know, it's all an act, it's all this and everything, you know, but there's more to Kenny Hotz than the do anything, win at all costs, son of a bitch that we see on Kenny versus Spenny, right?
Well, that's what I do against Spenny. Like, if I was competing against you, I wouldn't slip you acid or do anything insane like that. Spenny actually deserves it and deserves to be totally abused because of who he is, how he acts, and what he thinks. So, you know, it was just a real fortunate situation for us that we luckily managed to bamboozle the show and that we had executives that were too stupid to kind of watch what we were doing or know what was going on. And, you know, and it was during a time where the genres were, you know, Tom Green and Jackass. So, you know, I don't know if we'll ever be able to have the opportunity to do what we want to do. But I think it was, you know, extremely honest and real. And, you know, people think it's fake. People don't believe that. Well, some people don't believe that I slipped Spenny acid, but trust me, you know, for $40, it's a lot easier to slip him acid and do an incredible show than it is to, like, act like he's on acid and do a really bad show. So, for me, it wasn't a big deal, just, you know, slipping him acid and filming it. For other people, I think it's so absurd they have a hard time believing it. But, you know, we would shoot for a week, and, you know, you get like 30 to 50 hours. Then you cut 22 minutes and add, you know, Mozart and Beethoven and really cool music. And, of course, the show ended up amazing. So, you know, I just think people are so traumatized by horrible comedy in this country that when they see something really good, you know, they kind of can't believe it. But, you know, I loved it. I thought it was a really special, incredible series, and you know, I'm super proud of it. You know, it's totally reflective of our personalities. I love my celebrity, and I love the show we did, and Spenny hates his celebrity and hates, you know, kind of, you know, isn't as into it as I am. I'm a huge, you know, narcissist, and he's very, you know, neurotic and angry, so to speak. But I really think if you liked our show and like us, you'll laugh way more than you did in the show. And I think you'll really get insight. Like, I think we will solidify fans into really knowing who we are, what everything was about, and And it's going to be kinds of fun. If it wasn't, listen, they have to trust me. If the show wasn't going to be amazing and funny and great, I would never do it, because I only do stuff that makes me look cool and makes people laugh. So that's why I'm doing it.
What do you say to people? When we announced the show on our Facebook page, we had one guy that went off, on your show and said that's the dumbest crap ever. It's contributing to the dumbing down of society, and so then of course everybody who was posting on that thread went after him. So what do you say to people who just say it's a waste of time?
Well, listen, the world's filled with people destroying everything. What I think our show did was, it desensitized. I think our show stopped kids from being molested by pedophiles. Like, I think, if you watch our show, you're not going to get in the van with somebody looking for their puppy anymore. I think we street-proofed a whole generation of kids to know that, adults are scumbags too, and don't trust everything you hear. Listen, this is a guy, who like, who knows what am I supposed to say? So, yeah, some people hate Kenny versus Spenny. If some people didn't hate Kenny versus Spenny, then I was doing my job wrong. And it's like Howard Stern or South Park or Family Guy or any of those other shows that are incredible that people don't like. Hey, I don't like, I don't like 99% of the comedies on TV in Canada. And, some people love it. What am I supposed to say? But I don't run around, like, crapping on people's sites. I don't like that show. Like, the fact that he actually cares what people think about his opinion is pathetic. But, yeah, if you don't like Kenny versus Spenny, honestly, you're a loser, and you're an idiot, because it was a really great show. We were diplomats for Canadian content all over the world. I'd be chased down the street in Hamburg. And, I think we should get the Order of Canada, because we have, there's such a long vacuum of stuff. If it wasn't for Tom Green, Trailer Park Boys, and us, nobody would even know what Canadian comedy was on the entire planet. And I think we should all be getting medals. Anybody who craps on the amount of money that we make for broadcasters, advertisers, employees, and just the revenue stream that we help create for the industry in this country, they're an idiot.
Well, and also, too, you got to realize, people have to realize that Kenny versus Spenny, the largest selling comedy format in Canadian television history, because it's been in how many different countries?
Probably like 40.
And they're doing the whole their local version of it too, right? Have you seen any of those?
Actually, I'm showing some clips people haven't even seen of people in other countries playing us extremely badly.
You got time to take some questions from listeners here?
Of course, anything you like.
Has Spenny ever? This is from Ruben. Has Spenny ever manned up and took a swing at you?
Well, it's hard for a woman to man up, first of all. Well, he is a hermaphrodite, so that's different. Has he ever taken a swing at me? Yeah, he has. I would have killed him. Hey, in the show we got into a fight once, but yeah, I had an older brother. He's an only child. I took karate. I know how to fight. He doesn't. He was raised really rich. I was kind of raised poor, but he doesn't have the chops.
Stephen asking, in episodes I've noticed that Kenny is missing a piece of his finger. I'd like to know the story behind that.
Well, Spenny's mother sneezed on our first date. You can figure the rest out yourself. No, when I was 4 years old, I stuck my finger in an exercise bike and I chopped it off. Oh. Not a smart move, but it got me out of baby nom, which was good.
From Alexa, do you have a lot of? Are you worried about the bad karma surrounding you because of how much you cheat Spenny?
First of all, I didn't cheat. I was just smart. Spenny cares about the competitions. I never really cared about the competitions. I just didn't want to be humiliated. It's his attitude, this moralistic, evangelistic, I'm right and you're wrong stuff. That is seriously what has put this planet in the hell that it is. If I didn't do it, nobody would have watched the show. I loved doing it. It was a lot of fun for me. It totally entertained people and myself. Who cares what happens to Spenny? He's an idiot, and he deserves every single thing he got. And I think season 1, when we're on CBC, after the first couple of shows, people were like, "Oh, that Kenny guy's a cheater." But after you watch 3 episodes, everybody wants Spenny destroyed. That's normal. And I don't know why. Sometimes people go, "Hey, Kenny, you're a cheater." Who cares? It's a stupid TV show where we did stupid things, and you either love it or you don't. And I love it. I think everything I did was amazing and for everyone's enjoyment.
From Kevin, did they really lose count of how much weed they smoked in the last episode, or did they just say they lost count so they could have something PSA to say?
No, I don't. I think our crew stole it. The Canadian government paid for a quarter pound of weed. It's different here. In Canada, the government actually pays for you to create, content, TV shows, films, all that stuff. In the States, it's private. It's profit motivated. So I actually submitted a receipt that the taxpayers of Canada ended up paying for us to smoke, a quarter pound of weed. But I have no idea. I have no idea what we smoked. I don't really smoke weed anymore. So I just had no idea. This is something else. We just got so stoned. It was like a catch-22. Every single week I have to do this, horrible thing to myself. We really suffered. I really stayed awake for a week and ate 30 pounds of meat and did all these, I don't want to smoke a quarter pound of weed, but it's still horrible. So, it was a catch-22 to keep outdoing our previous episodes every single year. And I think if we would have kept going, we'd probably be dead by now.
Personal question for me, what was the hardest episode for you? Like what the most, the one that you went, oh, I never need to do that again in my life?
Staying awake was torture. I was hallucinating. It was like a Guantanamo torture session. Staying awake for 4 or 5 nights in a row was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And then eating meat, too. Eating meat was just, it killed me. I didn't eat meat for 3 months after that episode. It was torture.
From Landis, asking if you guys plan on making a movie.
We're actually trying to make a movie now. One of the reasons why I'm doing the tour is because I was, just trying to see our relevance. And you know what? The cool thing is we're still super famous. And I'm not being a cheeser by saying, hey, I'm super famous and we're legends and stuff like that. But, hey, we're super famous and we're legends. And it partially might be because nobody's really, come through or taken over. There's nobody here for our demographic or people to really, there's no comedy here now, and there's nobody for anyone to really enjoy. And ever since we hit Netflix and all the peer-to-peer networks, we've been just kind of getting bigger and bigger ever since we stopped. But I'd love to do a movie. I want to do 500 more episodes. I don't think the broadcasters and the executives really understand how popular we are. And, they keep making trailer park movies. I think if we did a Kenny versus Spenny movie, it'd do way better than any of those.
Oh, I'd be there on opening night for that one, my friend.
Yeah, listen, it would kill me because I'd have to make the greatest movie ever. That's what I want to do. I just want to make the funniest stuff to ever come out of Canada. That is my objective.
See, but you've won awards like Gemini Awards, Canadian Comedy Awards, and Film Festival, awards. I mean, how do you top all that?
You top it, win Emmys and Oscars and do all of that stuff. But listen, I don't really care about it. I really love doing it, and I just, want to just keep doing it. So, listen, everything you get, the more you do, the better you get. Kenny versus Spenny got better. Season 1 was this crappy thing that, to me, was just, a lame teen show. By the time we got to Season 6, and we're doing Who Gets 69, the show just kept getting better and better and better because, Spenny kept bugging me more and more and more. And where, most shows, when partners hate each other and the shows start dissolving and doing terrible, it was integral to that made our show better, that the more we disliked each other, the more we annoyed each other, the better the show got because it traveled through the screen because it was real. Yep. So, I think if we did a Canadian feature, it'd be the funniest Canadian movie in the history of Canada. Which isn't hard to do. Hasn't been, hardly any funny movies that ever come out of really super funny, incredible movies that ever come out of this country. And look, I want to do it. You know what? We're working on it now. And if the companies don't go for it, or whoever, producers, screw it. I'm just going on Kickstarter and we'll go make one ourselves because I'm really getting to that point where, I'm just sick of the suits, not really understanding how great this show is and how important it is to all of us. So eventually we'll probably end up doing it. And another thing is, it's funny, it's comedy, it's Spenny and I. The older we get and the fatter and uglier we get, the funnier it gets because it's more pathetic. And the more pathetic we are, the funnier it is. So I'm not worried about, we're too old to do it now. I actually think that's going to add a lot to the comedy.
Well, let me ask you this. You're talking about getting support. I mean, what about, do you still talk with Trey Parker and Matt Stone?
I do. Listen, those guys are multi-bajillionaires. They're winning, like, Tonys and Emmys and all of that stuff. We're chicken feed to them, even though they're very good friends, and I love them very much. They're incredible. I've never had better supporters. It's still like, they got their own stuff to do, and I don't really like depending on other people. Like when I was writing South Park, and I was just bouncing off the walls because I just wanted to go and do my own stuff. I don't like working on other people's stuff. I want to make my own stuff. So I don't need them to make a movie. I'm sure they'd do a cameo if we did, or help support it because they love us. But I'd kill myself if I needed anybody to run and do this stuff. I've always kind of done it on my own.
Do you get a chance to watch much late night TV?
I do.
Who's your favorite late night TV host?
Well, I love Conan and Kimmel because both Conan and Kimmel had us on, and you know what? And that was really important to us. So I was never a Letterman fan. And I'm old. I'm 46, right? Spenny's Spenny's 50 or 51 this year. So, we grew up with Carson, so it's hard for me to get into, like, Leno or all the young guys. And, like, Arsenio, why is Arsenio back on the air? Like, what is going on? This is what I'm talking about. This is why, like, people don't pick up Kenny versus Spenny, because there's a bunch of soccer moms who are running, like, the industry, and it's just incredible how pathetic and bad some of this stuff is. I don't understand how it gets to air, and I don't understand why people are more profit motivated. So whatever. What can you do? There's a biz we've chosen.
Well, you didn't, because I know you ran into problems with CBC. They had some issues with some of the content, so that was one of the reasons you went over to Showcase. But did Showcase actually get on your case about content then?
Well, they never really knew what we were doing, which was great. How are they going to get on our case with content with me eating fake poop out of a toilet? And no, it was a dream come true. In fact, CBC would let us drink the Who Could Drink More Beer episode. And once we left CBC, the very first episode I did to like give my finger to the CBC, or the Can't Be Cool as I call them, is we did the beer episode. And you know what? Screw CBC. Like, what losers? You know what happened is they brought in Tom Green to do a pilot for the CBC Tom Green show, and they didn't pick him up. And then the next day, the guy's on the cover of Rolling Stone making out with Drew Barrymore, and then they brought us in, and our show goes to number one. And they cancel their number one show. We go to Showcase, we get huge, end up on Comedy Central in the States, a show that CBC canceled. Losers. And look at their stuff. They really. I think now there's new executives in CBC that actually may help and do greater stuff. But some people that have formally created shows at the CBC should be shot. Like, should just be totally fired. If you do a really bad show that gets no viewers, that's just horrible. Taxpayers should not be, destined to give those producers more cash to do another crappy show. Yeah. And everybody here fails upwards. I just want, this is a country where SCTV and Kids in the Hall and some of the greatest comedians in the history of Canada, Mike Myers, Jim Carrey, we are running comedy in Hollywood. Comedians are exported to Hollywood, and here the only thing the stuff that they do is just so terrible. If I don't get me going, because I'm a Canadian. I watch TV, and I have always felt like why am I the guy that has to torture myself and kill myself? Like, where are these other people that are out there doing great stuff for us to watch? And I don't know. It's just not happening.
Where were you? Did you watch the gold medal game on Sunday?
Yeah, of course.
Were you at the bar? Were you at home? Because I know in Saskatchewan, every bar could open at 5 a.m. to serve liquor. So
Yeah, I was at home. I actually have a really cool bar that I own, a pub, but I don't even go anymore. It's hard for us. Again, I don't want to sound like a cheeser, but it's hard for us to go out in crowds. And we've created a brand where stoner jocks and university guys set up like 10 B-52 or banana schnapps shots, and then want me to then get mad that I don't want to have like drinking contests with them on Jaeger bombs. It's like, sometimes it's hard to go out in the crowd. When Spenny and I were on the CBC, we stopped going out together because we got gang raped by kids walking down the street. So your life changes a bit, but it's totally worth it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm getting old. Who wants to go? Especially in the winter. This winter's just insanely cold. Like, who needs it?
yeah.
I'm done.
What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you with a fan?
Well, cops found some fan, like we've had real stalkers, or some fan with like duct tape and gasoline and rope, like was stalking Spenny. And I've had people whip bricks through my window and stuff. People are crazy, especially when there's so many of them watching your stuff. But like I said, it's a vacuum. There's no on-air celebrities for people in Canada to really love. Like who are they going to, who are they going to be fans of in Canadian comedy right now?
Wow.
I don't think many people can relate to anything out there, and there, thank God, they're kind of, we're still relevant, and they're holding on to their love for us and the handful of other people out there, because it's really bad.
Wow. Well, you know what? I appreciate you taking the time. I won't take up any more of your time, and I know there's a lot of people that are so stoked for this show.
It's going to be good. Honestly, it'll be like more laughs than any other comedy show you've ever seen. Hopefully I can put a bottle of vodka in front of Spenny on stage, and you can watch him just lose it. Because he's the real deal. When Matt and Trey, Kenny vs. Spenny was their favorite show. But when they met Spenny in person, the next day we were on Comedy Central because they knew it was real.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So good to talk to you. This was, like I said, longtime fan, and I will definitely make myself known coming up at the show at Louis.
Oh, great. And thanks so much for the time, honestly. I used to live with Joni Mitchell, so I'm very excited to come up there.
What was that?
I used to live with Joni Mitchell.
What?
Yeah. I dated her daughter for 5 years when I was a kid, and then when she found out that she was Joni Mitchell's long-lost daughter, I kind of, started hanging out with Joni a lot.
Wow.
She's a sweet, nice lady.
That's wild. That's a wild story.
I know. I'm walking down the street with, blue blood royalty. It's incredible, especially in L.A.
That's way cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Kenny.
Go on my website and Facebook. You'll see pictures of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. For sure. Okay, bud. I appreciate your time, and like I said,
pleasure. Thanks so much. Goodbye.
Ciao for now.